And we're live. I think last time I did the reference to Godzilla of that. We're live at Madison Square Garden. As you can see here. What's another like newscaster movie? I don't remember.
Anchorman?
Yeah, that's where.
Anchorman, there you go. I just don't know any Anchorman references. I probably should, but I don't. Alrighty. Welcome everybody. Do you want to like, comment, subscribe? Helps with that pesky YouTube algorithm. And if you, if you subscribe, just kidding. You get tier 1, tier 2 emojis in the chat. All right. Welcome to the Decisions Lunch and Learn. I'll be your host. Let's see. There is a question that got posted, so I'm going to open up with that one. Let's see. Where did it go? It's right here, and it's there. And there's a cat. And boom. Okay. We got one from Alex. All right. So what Alex said is, let's go. Okay, guys. Already lean back in your chairs. We got a nice short story. All right, I have a case with a few states started, ongoing, completed, canceled. The ongoing state has 30 possible user actions in one trigger flow. All the user actions have been completed before the ongoing state can be exited. The visibility of those actions may change based on some variables in the case. All user actions can be started by different people and all can be running simultaneously. Let's see. I'm gonna give you guys the TLDR. When executing their actions, users can put comments and they can ask questions to other users. Let's say that users may post up to 20 comments for each of the 30 user actions. That means 600 comments. Okay, cool. One, can you refresh my mind on how to handle action visibility rules? Sure. Two, I understand that comments are attached to the case itself and are shown under the state in which the case was at the time the user posted. Since there could be 600 comments attached to the ongoing case, is there a way to attach the comments not only to the state, but also to the activity that the user was executing when the comment was posted and filter the history of the case by the user activity this way? Users can set 20 comments at a time. Got it. Okay, so basically, if I was to summarize this, it's action visibility rules, comments, and then there's a third one. Is there a way also to attach email conversations to an open case? Assume that. Okay, I'm going to tie that into like the comments thing. All right. So Alex, I think I got it. I'm going to set you up to allow to talk so you can filter out anything that I may have missed. I appreciate the detailed question. It was very thorough. So first thing, let's see. Do you have anything else you want to add before I?
No. I think it's more than enough. Sorry.
No, you're good. I always like. I'm not going to complain. I always like having more information than less, because more information you can filter out what you need, but less it's kind of like what. So, anywho, all right. So let's talk about this. So action visibility rules, what are they? So action visibility rules are things that you configure on the configuration folder of a particular like designer entity. So what does that look like? I shall create. Let's see, where's the data type that I have? I think I have one here. Perfect. So if I want to have some user actions, let me create some user actions in the started state. We'll say this is UA1. Boom, and then I'm going to create another one. Boom, I'm going to close and save this. We'll just imagine with our hats that this does, does something, useful. All right, so we're going to do UA2. Put that in there. Boom. Imagine this does something intelligent. All right. So now let's say I want to hide one of these particular user actions based on some type of group, right? How we do that is we have this thing called the action visibility rule all the way to the right. So whenever you click on this, we can say this is action vis rule. And then I'm actually off screen. I'm going to just create this dashboard real quick so that we can view it. So I can say this is the action vis rule to hide. Let's say I want to hide UA2 for some reason, right? So I'm going to hide UA2. And 2 seconds as I create a, I already got it. I don't know why so I already got a dashboard. Okay, cool. So let's see. So let's see, how could I do this? All right, so action visibility rule. I want to see, I got one. Let me just change this page really bit because it's going to be a little frustrating. Delete. We're going to delete that. We're going to make this cover the whole thing. And we save this thing and we go back to dashboard and I hide. Oh, I know what we're doing. I gotta edit this. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Delete this one. All right, good. Now we don't got that. And we're gonna make this go here. And okay, yes, reload this. Boom, now we're good. Okay, so let's say I want to hide on my dashboard right here. Boom, that took me a while to set up. I have UA action and UA2, right? Let's say I want to hide one of these actions. I'm going to hide UA2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that I want to say based on some thing based on the case, right? Let's say I want to say because the technology contains AWS for some reason. Let me make sure that that's the one. Yeah, so because it contains AWS, I actually want to hide that action. So I'm going to say contains AWS. I'm just using contains because if I use equals, I'm sure I'm going to mess up some fat finger the casing. And then I'm going to add another condition. Now, it's important to note, here's where I'm going to slow down a little bit. It's important to note that to filter out an action, you must make this rule return true. So all your logic has to be, run through in such a way where you're thinking, how do I make this thing return true? So that's kind of the goal there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that the action, and specifically the action name, I'm going to say equals, and I'm going to say this is going to be UA2, and this is case sensitive. So I have to make sure I spell this right. All right, so if the entity extension technology and the entity extension in this context is my case entity, so you can just translate that one to yours and you can get your filter based on those rules. So now I'm going to save this, and we're going to go back to my dashboard and let's refresh this and see if that's hidden. Boom. See, because the technology is AWS, UA2 is missing. So here's the question though, right, that you need to ask yourself. It's, it's a rhetorical one, but you want to keep this in your head whenever you build these things. What a configuration folder action visibility rule does is it will filter any type, any of my case entity, my technology review case entity. It will filter that UA2 rule based on the criteria I just made for every report that reports over that data structure. So it's a global filter is what I'm trying to say. So that's where we have to ask the question, do I need it globally or do I just need it just for a specific report? So let's say you're in the other context, right? We don't need it globally because that's what I just demonstrated. Here's the action visibility rule, how to set it up globally. The second thing that we're going to do is what if I just have it on one specific report? What am I going to do? Well, what we'll do here is when you go to your report, there is a specific section, not on the report, I always get this confused, on the page. Let's go to the page. And if we click on the report viewer, you can go to, I want to say it's behavior, and you can say, I want to filter out actions by names. And this one does the reverse logic. It says, what are the names you want to show? So I can easily say, hey, I want only UA, let me switch the, I'm going to delete this action visibility rule just so we can see it. List, action vis rule, we're going to delete this rule. Boom. And let's say I only want UA2 to show this time on this report, on this dashboard, right? So this is the locally specified filter for that dashboard. You can also do it by categories because categories is different from an action name. And I'll show you what the difference, and I'll show you like how you can identify the difference. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to close this. And so now when I go back to my dashboard, which I should have, I thought it was there. So I should have here, you should see now I only see UA2. Now, if I create another report on another dashboard, that won't be filtered. This is a local filter just for this report. So it's helpful depending on your context. Let's see. So I think that answers that question. Did that cover the first prong of your question?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Let's see. What I'm going to do is
the reality is, sorry, one little thing. In the second method, in the one that you do in the report, you put in the report.
Yes, sir.
You're not putting true conditions. You're saying just show this thing.
Correct.
Show this action. You cannot say, as you did in the other one, show UA or hide UA2 or whichever it was. Sorry, show UA1, I think it was, if these conditions appear, right?
Correct. It's basically the two things are the opposite. So one, you have to say which in the global one, in the action visibility rule, you have to say the action name equals the thing you want filtered out. In the report viewer, it says you type the thing you want to show. So
Yeah, but
that's the
this is,
confusing part. They're opposite.
yeah, but this is not an if, as you were able to put in the other one. You were able, in the other one, you said if my technology was AWS, you cannot do that here, right?
Correct. Yes.
This
Correct.
UA2 will appear for everything. So it's a
Yeah.
different, okay, got it.
You got it. Correct. All right, cool. I'm gonna. I'll circle back to your second prongs of your other question, Alex. I'm just gonna go to other questions and I'll come back to yours. All right. Let's see. Jeff Humphrey asked, looking for recommendations to use decisions to pivot a JSON metadata style array to a name paired object. For example, name property one, value one, name property two. Oh, you're just. Oh, interesting. Wait. I thought I had it. Oh, so you want to combine that. Hey, let me give you some, let me allow you to talk. What's the reasoning for the style, the array styling? Is it just aesthetic, or is there something that's needed for your next system?
Oh, it's kind of like we're getting data in one format from one system, one partner system, and need to send it out to another one.
I see.
It's different. So
I'm curious. I'll be honest, I don't really know, but let me play around with this a little bit. I want to see if there's any formatting stuff, and I'll also post it in the.
you don't have to go too far creating. I mean, I can create a flow that will like filter based on a property name and create a new object out of it. I was just wondering if there was like a step or something that
Okay, cool.
handle that.
Well, then I'll post your question because I'm sure there's people who've done more integration than I have. So let me post that question, and if I get a response, I'll share that with you.
So and it's interesting. That happens a lot with. I ran into it with your Fire module, which I know is based off, another library, but there are some sections of the Fire module that store data like the way in my former example there, where it's like the name of the property and then the name and then the value of the property and the value, but then other places where it does like property name value. So.
Sure, yeah. I gotcha. No, 1 second. That's interesting that that's different. 2. All right, let's see. Made 2. Put this here. And we'll go here. Boom. All right, cool. I will wait to see what someone says because I don't know. Obviously, right, we could design a flow to move it, but I don't know if there's a quick way. And that's why I was wondering if there's like a step in like JSON. I don't know if we have like a JSON formatter, get JSON schema. That just now wouldn't work. Test is valid JSON, check a JSON from path. Decode JSON, create JSON from data. Yeah, I don't see any off the set. We'll see what what people find if I get a response from your question in the chat.
Okay.
All right, let's see. I'll move on to the next one. QA. All right. Peyton asks, is there an issue with showing hierarchical report views on pages with Chrome equals off? I have a hierarchy report set up on a page and it works when I don't have Chrome equal off. Let's see, added it into the URL, but when I add it in the, but when I add it in and try to hit the first drop down in the hierarchical report, the report completely disappears on my page. Not that I know of. Is what version are you running, Peyton?
Let me get that for you real quick.
C system. There's a hierarchy report somewhere that I can filter.
We're in 8.12.
8.12. Okay. Got it. 1 second. I'm trying to find. There's a default report that's already in a hierarchical format, and so I'm trying to find that one. RFID report activity. Nope, it's not that one. I thought it was. I think it's this one. Oh, I can't edit. Oh, wait. That's the matrix view. Okay. This is in hierarchical view. Yeah, I know it's not recommended. Don't worry, decisions. I'm not going to edit it. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's this one. Because that's the hierarchy report. Okay, here, perfect. So I got it. All right, so we can test this out. So I can do, I'm on, first let me go to local and find out. I am on version, so we got 8.12 and 8.17. So I want to see if this happens. Because if it does happen, I think that's just a bug. And we can easily report that to support@decisions.com and they can get that submitted for us. So let's see, you said and Chrome equals off, right?
Yep.
All right, and Chrome equals off. And then you expand it, I think.
Yeah, we're also only able to get it to where there's, so the very top is like a group that encompasses all of the other drop downs. So like that top ORM would be like a total, and then under that would be multiple other drop downs.
Mm-hmm. Say that one more time.
So instead of ORM and then there being, you know, multiple other overarching groups, it's only one overarching group with multiple subgroups.
Sure.
And so there, when you open it up, it's just that one collapsible row when you first open the page.
Oh, I see. It's not multiple like you're saying I have here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't think that would make a difference. But it does sound like a bug. I would get that. I would email support@decisions.com, and we could have a support technician take a look at that because I don't think that would change it.
All right.
So, okay, cool. Alrighty. Let's see. Carter asked, "Is there a way to mimic the folder, the functional? I don't know why I can't read today. Oh my gosh. Is there a way to mimic the functionality of a folder activity panel into a button? We have an old version of the application that uses the folder activity panel to allow a user to access a form they have been assigned in a flow. I want to create a button on a report that allows the user to access the flow where they have been assigned a form and continue the flow from the show forms tab." So I'm gonna allow you to talk. Could you expound upon that a little bit? So you want the folder activity panel or?
Yeah, so in the old application, there was a report that ran and you would click on it and it would send a change event, update the property, and then the folder activity panel would take that folder ID from there, and then you would see the folder activity panel, and there's a review action that's part of the flow. And so they would click the button and the form would pop up where they can review the item, and then, you know, click the form, do whatever they want to do, hit done, and then that flow will continue running after they've done it. In the new application, we're taking away that report with the folder activity panel on the side, but they still want the functionality to have a button that says, you know, review report if that's available. And I didn't know if there was a way, since Decisions is already running that flow in the background, I didn't know how to access that element and then show it on a report so that there's a button that says, hey, review this item.
So is the review action on the form, or is it you just want, like, instead of a folder activity panel, a button on the report that will just load the comments? Am I understanding that correctly?
The review is the form. So the current structure is there's one flow to kick off the process that creates an entity and then moves it to another state. And then once that state comes, the trigger flow runs, and then the form's assigned to a user group. And so all of those users will be able to, you know, they'll be assigned the task to complete the form in order for the flow to continue running. And so that's what would show up in the folder activity panel, right?
Just the assigned form?
The approved form. or yes, the approved form that's assigned to them.
From the okay, I think I understand what you're saying. So if I got, let me draw data out of this because I think I'm almost there. Draw data. So basically, we got this cool form. Oh, create new test. So imagine inserting. Okay. Imagine this is our report. Boom. That's your report view, right? I'm sure we got. Let's see. Let me make this. Make this a little bit smaller. That's fine. All right. So we have our report columns, right? Let's make this blue. And then and this is how I'm picturing it. So then on this side of it right here, right, then I guess it's a form view of like comments.
That's in the old application. This is what it looked like. You had the report here, and then the folder activity panel was where that comments box is. And so that showed the whole folder activity for the entity.
Okay, wait. I see. So wait, sorry. I think I'm getting it. I'm going to say this several times. I probably won't. I believe, let me look at this. This is what you're talking about here, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so you want to alter this page to where we just see, I guess, the assigned form here, or like a form view where they can work the assignment if they need to.
Interact with this page at all. I want the report to have to where if a form was assigned in this process history, I think that's the mapping between the folder activity panel page. And so like if they were assigned a form, it would show up in this process history. It would also show up in the folder activity panel. Instead of having the folder, I want a button to access whatever their most recent activity is. Okay. Whatever they're assigned to do currently.
Gotcha. For that particular record in that row. Right. So if I got like 3 assignments, right? Assignment 1, 2, and 3, I got to go to the. Okay. Here's what I would do. I think on that one, let's see if I can build this real quick. I think I might know what that looks like. Because I think what we can do for there, if I have, here's the next question. Are you reporting over the assignment or are you reporting over that specific data type?
I'm reporting over the data type.
Okay, so you're reporting over that data type. Okay, cool. So fair. I think that makes it a little bit easier. So then what we can do is action to review that. So then let me create I think I have that already. We're going to go to project full of comments. I'm going to create some flow data. Data for validation and a comment to the copy flow. Perfect. Remove this. I don't need this. I'm just going to I have my own little case entity example. So I'm going to go ahead and build that. So we're going to go to that dashboard that I created. So we're here. So I'm going to generate a record to go into my review state right here. Okay. So cool. So that's what I want. Got it. So that's going to get an assignment. And let me just make sure that this assignment is to me. So I can make sure that I have it. And that is to me. Perfect. All right, cool. So let's create a couple. So then I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to have this go back to my flows. I have it somewhere. It's there. Okay. So we're going to move this here. Close this. And debug. Say this is test again. Technology, Azure, and we'll say all right, so now that's assigned. Which I actually didn't see that go to the assigned. Oh, I think I know why. I didn't set it to the state. The state is pending review. All right, so I'm pretty sure I didn't send it. Yep, I didn't change the state. That's why. Test 1. right? That gets, now it's been assigned. Okay, but I'm not going to work there because we want to test out this functionality to where I display a dashboard and I have, oh, I have to actually fix that process that I did there. Page comments. I want to review my filter. Review the filter behavior. My name's perfect. Check that. And we go back to that dashboard. So now I should be good. I can see everything. So now if I have an assignment, test again. Test. Where's that test? So if I go to my inbox, I know I have it. Okay, so this is revs are probably from test 1. So that should be current. So that should appear there. So if I go to test 1, are you using a flow execution extension or a case entity?
Case entity.
A case entity. Okay. Current state, it's pending review. It's assigned. Okay, that's interesting. I would have thought if you should typically when you report over data structures that have assignments to them, then they'll appear here and you can add them and work them. And that's what we need, some type of action to be able to say, hey, let's work this. Okay, I see. So I wonder, let me change this. I wonder if it's a case entity setup thing now that I'm kind of understanding the predicament better. So let's go, okay, that's that. Let's go here. I want to edit this state. Create assignments. Or actually, okay, here we go. I think it's covered. Wheels are slowly turning. All right. So what you can do is in the assignment setup, in your case entity, you can say, I want to, there's a part of it. You can specify, I think you can specify the assignment folder where you want this assignment to be stored. So I'm going to select the folder ID of that case record, right? And then I think this might get you what you need. We're going to test this and see if it works. And then I'm going to generate another one because I don't think the other one's not going to be stored in the way that I need it to. So then when I run this, we'll say I'm going to use Sabrina because that's a unique name. And we're just going to say this is test, just to have some data. And we're going to run this. Boom. Okay, so that's an assignment. So now if I go back to my dashboard, you could use, so here's the filter. Let's see. So now if I go back to the dashboard and I want to filter this down. Okay. So then I have, so you have this action here to review it. Okay. So once you store it in, I just didn't pass in the data. So that's why I didn't pass in this data. So that's why it's blank. But once you store the assignment folder and say, hey, put it inside the case entity, you can have an action to review it as a right clickable one. Now, there is another way you could do this where let's say let's say that's not the design you're looking for. You, like you said, you want a button you click on and like maybe it's to the right, another column where it's just button, right? And it says work assignment. I believe you can do that. All you'd have to do is we can add a calculated column and it's going to be, there's this run, I don't know if it's this one, display UI, show editor, and we could say this is, a work assignment. And then what I believe, this might be a little tricky, is we can say, well, no, you can, that would work. So I'm like it's slowly clicking me. So I can say work assignment. Then when I click on this run flow, not show editor, I can pick or create the flow. I have to pick that flow. This is going to be get my assignment based on folder ID. We'll create that. I'm going to save this because I still got to get that folder ID somehow. So I'm going to display that here. Folder ID. I'm going to put this thing up front and center. All right, so that's the first thing that comes out of that. Let's see. so we can get that assignment. And so what that's going to be is I'm pretty sure there's a property inside of the assignment data structure. Select asterisk from DBO dot assignment. I think it's just assignment. That's why. Isn't that Will, do you remember what that name of it was? I thought it was assignment. Am I just messing it up? Entity underscore assignment. I'm misspelling it, that's why. I keep forgetting. We always add entity to everything. And actually I don't want everything. I wonder if there's just one property called entity underscore folder underscore ID. And if I run this, okay, good. So this one does. Bingo. Okay, cool. Basically what I'm looking for, I'll kind of translate. I know I was kind of speeding through this, is we can fetch the assignments based on that folder with that button if we store that assignment within that case record. And then we can just say, hey, fetch the assignment that resides inside of that folder. And so I'm going to do, and so that's why I was looking to make sure that the assignment had that property, which I was sure it did. I just wanted to confirm. So that's why I did the query stuff. All right, cool. So now if I go back to my here where I'm configuring this, we're going to fetch entities. I'm going to do it based on the assignment. And we'll just use the parent folder ID of the folder ID inside here. And then what we'll do is, let me show my form. Oh, actually, would that work? Because then we show that assignment. Would we show the add task step? Or show that part? So you could do it. I think this is the basis for it. We would have to, I'm just gonna do like show form. Well, that's just gonna give us the assignment stuff. Yeah, here, let me do this. You can do it. I'm gonna tell you where my mind's at, and then I'll work offline and just build you a small project and send it to you. So if you can post your email in the chat,
Yep, sure thing.
you know, so you can have like a project, because essentially I'll talk about it for the recording. So essentially what you would need to do is you can store that assignment inside of that folder, like I said earlier, and then you can utilize the run flow inline field calculated column to have that button that says when you click on it, you know, show that assignment to that user. There's a couple of things there that I need to like play around with to confirm, like, is it just displaying the form? Is it, you know, how do I get it to present? And so I want to troubleshoot that. And once I have a solution, I can build that project to you. But essentially that's what it is. But to the short, you know, for like the workaround, or not really workaround, but for a solution that doesn't have a custom kind of run flow option, if you merely just configure the case entity or the state that has your task, if you merely configure the assignment setup and edit it, and then select the assignment folder type to from flow, and then pass in the folder ID that's in the trigger flow. Let's see, where is that property? I know I saw it. It disappeared on me. There we go. Assignment folder ID. Then you'll have at least that right clickable action for that user. So.
Okay, that sounds great. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, let's see. So I think that was Carter's question. All right, I'm gonna go back to Alex because there's two other questions that I haven't answered yet. So let's go back to 2024. All right. So visibility actions just did that. Understand comments are attached. Okay, cool. So now, Alex, I'm going to answer your question about comments. So yes, comments are attached to the entity. And so what you can do there is you'd have to configure some way where you can have the comments be stored based on the user who wrote it. And that could be the way you filter out and fetch that. So I'm going to demonstrate that a little bit. Actually, this project was kind of suited to do just that. So for example, if I'm going to go ahead to this one, create some. So let's say I have comments, right? And these specifically, I have HTML comments right here, see? So I can add formatting, right? That's all this means. So if I want to do, we'll do Caitlin. And then we'll do Hyper-V, sure. And then I have comments here, right? That's written by people, right? And you can imagine this could be your use case where it's on a user's report, they run this, they fill this out, so on and so forth. So we'll do test, 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 test. All right, and then I'm gonna click done, and then that will get assigned to that particular state. But, ooh, actually didn't add the comment. So the step that you utilize to add comments is called the add comment step. Now, this is a step you can't really search for. If you search for it, you'll get the wrong step. You'll get this add comment step. And what this step is used for is it's used for the flow execution extension data structure. And the reason why you can use this one with that data structure is when that process data is running with that data structure, it is uniquely, this step is aware of that process data in flight, and therefore it could add it in there. With case entities, we don't have that luxury. We have to be able to say what case ID we want to attach it to. So in order to add a comment, we have to go to integration, we have to go to internal services, we have to go to comment service. It's called, or comment. And that's where you'll get all of the different types of comments that you can add. You can say, hey, I want to get all the comments for a particular folder, pass in a folder ID, you get all your list of comments. You could sort it by Jared, Sabrina, and William. You could sort it by however way you would need. But long story short, all the steps you would need for comments are here. But there's a couple of other things that we need to be aware of. So now that we know where the steps are located, how do we actually interact with them in the flow? What I like to tell students is that whenever you're dealing with the add comment step, right, you always build data, because a comment in decisions is an actual thing that lives inside of the decisions portal/studio. But since it's part of the entity framework, there's a lot of these like metadata things that you don't need to mess with. The only thing you'll need to update is these two fields, the reviewer, or excuse me, three fields, comment name right here, and then comment description, and then the entity ID of what comment that thing's attached to. So what's the comment name? The comment name is the person who wrote it, right? So I like to tell people, imagine over here when you see a comment name, you think it answers the question of who wrote this. So this is the who, right? The comment description is what was said, right? So, let's say, Jared makes a comment, so that's that's the comment name, and then what did Jared say? AWS is a cool technology, right? That's the comment description, and so the comment description is the what was said right here. Let me type that right there. So what was said, and then the entity ID is what entity or what other structure is this tied to? Like where is it going to be stored? So those are the only three properties you need to do. You could ignore all the other parts of this step, right? They do play a role and they do play a function, but for the sake of simplicity and what you would use it for, it's just these three things: comment name, who said it; comment description, what was said; entity ID, what thing is this comment attached to? All right, cool. I think we got it. All right, let's save some comments here so you can see just kind of how that works.
When you need to put the form?
Say it one more time.
I thought that you had to put the form, the comment form.
The comment form? I think I did, didn't I not?
It's sitting down below to your left, bottom left.
Oh no, it's right here.
Oh, it's that one? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Basically, I'm going to lead into this one. We're going to lead into this guy in a little bit because there's something that I do want to show you because I think it's going to be helpful when you design comments. So I'm going to debug this, and this is going to be, what was I going to call this? Who's there? Let's see, Brian's close by. I'm going to use Brian. I just can't spell his name, obviously. 5 letters and I struggle. Let's see, we'll say decisions, and we'll say CS is the coolest department in decisions, right? And let's say I want that in a bullet point. Let's see, let me add a bullet point. So it's here. CS is fun, right? CS, yeah, I'm just adding data. So now that I save this and then it runs, So now I got a comment added to that particular data, piece of data. And so if I want to go see this, right, we can add reports to filter and grab that data. But just so you can see how it manifests itself, you will see that the comment data. And I think this one's here. This is the one. So right, boom, and you can see in the started state, Brian said, CS is the coolest department decisions. CS is fun. CS, right? And it shows you that's the name of that comment. So that's how you write those comments, and it has a beautiful formatting and stuff. So that's where you find that. Let's see. I want to make sure that I answered your question. Is there also? Go ahead.
The problem is that, yeah, for one sys or two sys is fine, but if you have 400 of those, finding the right comments could be difficult, right? And I did not see a way of filtering comments in the case activity widget. There might be I don't know.
Yeah, so let's do that. So I will build something, because yes, you can still filter it. There is a step in this add comments step where I can say, hey, get by folder ID, and that gets all the comments, right? And so, but let's kind of build some more comments. I'm actually going to add like a for loop on this. Or let's see, not the for loop. I need well, you kind of should. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do a for loop step, and I'll just loop like 3 times. And then we'll go back here. Oops, this logic's horrible. Remove.
It's a loop. You wanted a loop.
Literally, it will keep looping forever. So let's see. So I'm just gonna make like 10 iterations. And what I'll do is we have this comment. If I have the comment name, reviewer, okay, we'll leave that viewer, but I'm actually gonna change the value of the reviewer. Let's see if I can create a quick truth table. That would take a little bit. I just need 3. Okay, let's just make it 3. Let's see. We'll do create data. That's already here. I'm actually going to say this is change the reviewer. Boom. And I'm going to say this is Jared, right? And so we'll have 2 different people. Actually, we won't. It'll just be me several times. Let's do. All right. Quick truth table. Pick create. Not rule table. Truth table. Truth. There it is. It's the last one. Pick existing, create new truth table, test truth. And we'll just grab in the integer. This will be int num. Close and save. We're going to say if the num equals, yes, that's what I want. Equals 0, perfect. Equals 1, equals 2, equals 3, right? We're going to output a string of text, which is just going to change the name for the sake of my demonstration. Jared, we'll do Sabrina. We'll do Will C. We'll do Brian, and then if all else fails, we'll just do boss man Heath Oderman. All right, so now he's got a couple. So now what I can do here, 1, 2, 3, 3, perfect. And I can say, hey, if the index, right, is going to equal this, select from flow, item, yes, haha, that's what it is. And what I'm going to do is we shall advanced, no, that's what I want first. And then I can say, all right, let's change. Yeah, I got it. All right, so then we're going to change the reviewer. Boom. And I can actually remove this guy, because then the reviewer is going to be different. And we'll probably have the same comment several times, but that's okay. So now if I debug this and run, we'll say this starts out with, let's do Levi. Azure, and we'll do some data. We run to this, boom. So now I got a lot of comments on this record. Let's confirm that. So if I go to my data and I see Levi and I look through this, right, we have a lot of comments from different people, a lot from Heath, one from me, one from Will, all that stuff, right? So now what we can do here is you can utilize a couple of things. I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab this ID just so I can use it for testing of this record, get the case ID. And now I have a couple of different steps. I'm going to disconnect this logic from everything else. We can use it later. And so now I have a couple of different steps I can use. Since comments are essentially an entity, I can fetch entities of those comments. Boom, boom. And I could say, hey, I only want the comment. So you'd have the comment data structure here. And I'd only grab the parent folder ID of it that equals, let me just make this a constant. I'm just gonna pass it in here. FID, select from flow, FID. And then if I debug, paste my ID in here, you'll see now I get all the comments from that particular person. So I have entity results, comment name, right? I can even know what state that's in. I can know, hey, this comment's Sabrina. So if I want to, I can even do it further and say, hey, I don't really care about Jared's comments. I only care about Heath Oderman's comments. And actually, I'm actually going to say Sabrina because her name's shorter than Heath Oderman. So let's say I want to grab all of the comment names, if I can find that. Comment ID, comment type, or entity names. Let's do that. Entity names, because it's the same as the comment name in this case. And I use a constant of Sabrina, or I can have this set up dynamically. And now when I fetch entities of that same thing, you'll notice now I only get entity results. Let's say I only get the one item that's Sabrina's comment. And I can sort it, do whatever I want with that. So that's how you would do like some sorting logic when you have like multiple comments in each thing. You can also filter it on like, hey, when they were written too, right? It's created on date, since that's a field that you get with the entity framework.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is great.
Awesome, awesome. And then I think your last question, is there a way to attach email conversations to an open case? There is. It's called, what's that step called? Man, if you have great questions, I have to pull back to a lot of my old days of what I built, a lot more than I do now. There is a step. I don't know what your email, this is highly depending on your email, right? Like, I don't know what your, like, if it's Office 365 or if you're using like MailChimp or something, but you can use steps that allow you to say get email headers. Or do we not have that? I'm just gonna look for email. Whoa, is there? Okay, I was like, why is this thing reset? Oh, okay. I was like, why is everything big? And so we can utilize these kind of get email steps. You have one for POP and one for IMAP. And you also have these security ports as well. And what that will allow you to do is it actually outputs. I thought there was a get header step. There's something weird. Get email. Get message. There's another thing. That's not what I'm looking for. Send message. Error message. Oh, I think it's this one. Nope, that's a message queue. So that's not what I'm thinking. Because what is this output? This output's an email. Headers. There we go. Get headers from that step. And what I think what that does is you get the email, and I think, what does the list of email headers give us? I gotta attach this to the process, and then we can look at it. So get email, get headers, found, received. So we got the message. Okay, so the message just gives you the email, the body HTML, body text. Okay, cool. So I think it would just be the get message, but what you have to do is you may have to say like, hey, if there's I don't know if there's like a specific thing that you monitor, maybe you have to you monitor a certain email inbox and you want to say, hey, I want to get the headers for like, I don't know, 100 emails or something. And then I want to check if some like let's say Sabrina's applying for a home loan, right? And she emails and says, hey, I want to, get a status of where my loan's at, for sake of example. And you can tie in her email address to that loan application ID. And so it will get her email, parse that message, pay, and then put that comment, and then attach it to an add comment step to write that comment that she had in the body of that email and put it there. So it's taking the data from the email, but it's not necessarily like taking the what is it?
Not taking a pointer to the email and attaching it to the case. You have to do the mapping of the body of the email and put it as a message or sorry, as a comment.
Yeah, correct. You would get the data of it. Now you can do attachments. So right in I want to say, which one is it? Any results. I thought I just had it. Data Explorer. Any results, comments. That's not showing the data. Let me put this in here. And then back to Data Explorer. Headers. Inside the headers, you can say, hey, I want to display you can check if it has attachments. And then there is let's say all subject, all to email address, or might be the other property, the message. Boom, and you can grab the attachments of that message. So let's say Sabrina says, hey, here's my proof of employment, in my pay stub. You can easily grab that from the email and place that in the folder. And so you can grab those attachments. It's just you can't, I don't think there's a way we can just export that email and just say, all right, take it, and here's a link to that email. Unless it's a location that can be accessed by anyone, but usually it's not.
But from the get headers, you have to be connecting to the Exchange or whichever email server.
Correct. Yeah.
You need access to that server.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, this is a little bit more difficult than the average thing. So it's probably a data functionality. But it's good to know that the functionality does exist. Thank you, Jared.
Exactly. Yeah, no, my pleasure. Yeah, email is always one of those things that's just it's interesting to have to deal with because it adds just layers to it. All right, I got a couple more. All right, cool. I got Carter's email. I'm gonna grab that, put it on a notepad so I can play with it later. And sure. All right, any other questions? All right, I don't see any other questions. So what we'll do is we'll end this call so that we can get the YouTube video uploaded. Thank you so much for attending. Tomorrow will be Sin. She'll be answering your questions if you have any. So she's really smart, knows her stuff. So she'll be another great person to log on in and get her advice on how to build or how to troubleshoot certain things. So, but without further ado, everyone take care, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Jared.